All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. And hi, I'm Anise. I'm Vice President of Communications at IDEAS. And this event tonight is for leadership. So if you're interested in leadership or you want to help out in leadership, whether it's an official position or just, dipping your toes in, we're gonna give you some overview of what we do and the time commitments for it. Just as an FYI to everyone, we are recording this presentation. It will be published to our website as well. So leadership by ideas. Um, as a brief overview, a lot of these we're going to give a description of the roles as well as the tasks. These are not like everyday tasks or even every semester tasks. It's mostly like it can change dependent on what leadership that year wants to focus on. For example, we still had recruitment events, but that wasn't our main focus for leadership. We wanted to focus more on housekeeping. So some of these tasks we didn't do very often. Okay.
So for exec positions, the first one obviously is president of ideas. We have a club. We need somebody to kind of run it, right? Um, so the job as president is to kind of ensure that all the different moving parts of the club are um, working together, basically. So as president of ideas, I promote the aims, the objectives. I um, help delegate tasks to officers and work with the other executive officers to, um, keep ideas running. Um, I do some work with financing, budget, inventory, and communicating with Roxanne, who happens to be our contact at ASU online. So she helps kind of navigate all the different clubs. Currently working with her to plan like a summer event. Um, yeah, and definitely like people skills. You're going to be working not only with um, other officers, but you're going to be working with the advisor at the school. Like Dr. Austin actually is the advisor of ideas, and different points of contact.
Next is Vice President of Communications, which is me. I am in charge of basically communications of the club and making sure they're transparent to club members. Anyone in that position will mostly be working with Officer of Virtual Administration, branding, and also community outreach. I oversee the communication websites. I facilitate coordination of officers, maintain the Sun Devil Sync calendar, as well as oversee new leadership and leadership interests. Basically, I focus more on the internal or the external communications of the club versus Officer of Operations focuses a little bit more on the internal communications of the club, which is the next slide.
So our vice president of operations happens to live abroad, so it's already bedtime there. So he's not able to present his role tonight, but he basically keeps up with the internal functions and helps the club run smoothly. He does the automation of Discord, uh, tracking and recording of different event metrics, um, like the logistical operational stuff is what he takes care of. But I think it's important to remember um, with all three of the exec roles is that we very much work as a cohesive group. So sometimes different um, roles overlap, or we might pick up a task of a different um, leadership role just because of our schedules or personal, even like gifts and talents, just like what we're good at. Now there are officer positions.
So, hi everyone, I'm Nay. I'm the current Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Advisor, which some of you may have heard of a similar position before with Ideas, but it's not not been a position that we've seen year to year. It's really sort of a new position with a lot of potential room for growth as the organization continues to grow. So I'm real quick, because there's like a wall of text there for folks who are really interested in taking a close at it later. But the short of it is, before I even joined Ideas, why did I join Ideas? And if you think about Ideas' core values, looking specifically, our focus on inclusivity, diversity, and advocacy in the sciences within education. That can mean a number of things. And so just right off the bat, first two key things is that we look to, within this position and collectively as leadership, we're really trying to foster diversity within our own membership and leadership, but also really thinking about how Ideas as a whole can really promote growth in underrepresented populations, like within STEM. And that includes not only us as online students, but thinking about various aspects of our identities, how we move through the world, and creating a community space for us and perhaps in other higher education we pursue or workforces that we pursue, but creating a space where we actually really work to develop a community sense of belonging and equity within the ways that we work with each other and communicate. So it's an evolving thing. And one of the things that I enjoy is that I get to find some of the tools that help us as an organization kind of fine tune how we can be better communicators and support each other. And again, continue to just grow, not only as an organization, but how we can continue even outside of the organization to support our ongoing goals as folks in STEM. So
Sorry. Yes. So yeah, Nay her role is to kind of help with really connect with all the other officers. So one of the officers that she would connect with is Officer of Engagement. So this person would be in charge of the membership engagement. Right now, I do some posting, but this is definitely a role that would need to be filled at some point. Yeah, they're in charge of Welcome Week. So if you're not familiar with Ideas clubs, sometime in August, there's a Welcome Week, and all of the clubs kind of introduce themselves and explain what they do. And they usually give some kind of fun presentation and give out swag. And it's really enjoyable. Also, we have done game nights during winter break. Planning community socials, making engaging posts even just during the week, just so that it's not dead silence. We also do the weekly buzz on Wednesdays. So like keeping up with those kinds of ideas and just making it fun and kind of like lighthearted. Because we're a social club, so we want to make connections and have fun too.
Okay, and the next position is Officer of Recruitment. This is a very important position, and it's a reoccurring position, if that makes sense. So they initiate Welcome Week, and their job is essentially to help welcome in new members. Like, to me, that would be the most important. If you've joined Ideas this year, you might have gotten a message saying, "Hi, welcome to Ideas. This is how you can interact with us. We have our OH hour and everything." So that way, when someone joins the club online, it's basically equivalent where if someone joined a club in person, someone would be there to greet them. You would say, "Hi, how are you?" And stuff. So you're basically that person, but for online students. You would also be in charge of managing the club roster, which has all members on it as well as alum. And you would be working with Roxanne, an officer of advising to create recruitment ads, which would be mainly done during beginning of the school year, welcome week, and then one other time during the school year as an additional recruitment event.
Okay, hi, I'm extremely nervous, so bear with me. I'm a behind the scenes type of person, so I do the whole officer of advise, or oh my god, advertising and branding. So basically I make all of this position would be making the flyers, the ads, the weekly buzzes, basically any of the graphic designs we do have. I've also helped send out emails to professors at the beginning of the sessions to be like, hey, promote us, here's our cute little picture, and like send them a little blurb. So that's what I've done with this position. It's actually really fun because we use a site called Canva. So we go on there and I mean, it is unlimited fun. I've spent probably way too long on there being like, look at this cool thing I made at 5 in the morning, you know, I'm spamming these guys. But yeah, it's just making all of the designs and whatnot. And it's a fun one, honestly, but yeah.
Officer of Event Management. So, this officer is in charge of posting event advertisements and moderating events. You know, there's a process in event planning. You know, you need ideas, and then you need to tell people about it, and then remind people about it. And then of course the fun part, which is executing the actual event. So yeah, I mean, events are great because they, even though we are, you know, a virtual club and everyone is kind of spread out over the world, really, events bring us together. So it's a huge part of our club.
Hi guys. I am in the role of Officer of Community Outreach, which basically helps develop and initiate like volunteer activities as well as opportunities for members to kind of be a part of their community locally as well as like online, because again we are an online club. Of course my dog starts to drink her water as soon as I'm talking. And like examples of this would be, you know, I have, and you'll see them coming out more, but I've planned out some volunteer stuff, as well as, you know, kind of getting people aware of like what it looks like to be volunteering like online. And like with that, I mean like making sure the avenues are available to you guys. For instance, there's an event coming up in the spring, which is a kind of, I don't want to like spill too many things, but basically making sure that you guys have the avenues that you need to be able to volunteer, whether that be donating or food drive or tutoring, stuff like that. Basically, I personally really enjoy it because I think volunteering in itself and community outreach in itself is a really rewarding thing for me personally. So to be able to help spearhead that definitely puts a smile on my face. But it's a little bit more of like a, I guess like the way that I did it was try to plan everything out like as soon as possible. So where the dates are like locked in and stuff and the ideas are locked in. But obviously that's like per person type thing. So yeah, it's a really fun role. And I think it's a really important part of ideas because it does help bring us together beyond just doing events.
Okay, hi, me again. The other part that I do that's behind the scenes is the Officer of Web Administration. See why I got those words mixed up? They're on my brain. So basically I help manage, create, redesign the website for ideas. And we are also going to be reopening the Ideas LinkedIn and making it hopefully soon functionable. So that's part of this position, is to kind of keep that flowing and allow people to see us and find us. That is like the main goal. So some of the tasks that I do is I update under the resource tabs. There's scholarships, REUs, study abroads, how to build and fix your CV or resume. Like, there's quite a bit, if you want me to be honest, quite a bit to this position, but it comes secondhand nature. Once you get used to it, it's kind of a pattern to check it all the time and kind of update it. We also have, like, if you see at the bottom of our website, there's like the weekly events that are coming up. So I have to change that weekly, which not that bad. But we also do student spotlight on the website, and that's monitoring the nomination forms. So you get to look at those and be like, ooh, picking my little students and alumni like little candy, and then putting them and interviewing them, basically asking them questions, and then posting that to the website. Basically, it's just making sure everything's updated and, you know, visible. We need to be seen online as an online club. So this position is very important and it needs to be updated. So it's a fun one. I like it. But yeah.
All right, those are all the positions you could join, official positions you can do. With ideas, keep in mind, if you just want to help out, that's more than welcome. We would gladly take the help. Managing a club is a lot of work, but it's a lot of rewarding work. Just remember that, like, this is how, honestly, like, the best thing about being part of leadership with ideas is, like, this is how you make friends as an online student. And this is how, like, you get to know people and learn about new opportunities and help other people get new opportunities. It's a great resume builder. You learn interpersonal skills, you learn administration skills, you learn how to plan and produce big projects, which all jobs, grad schools like, and it's something to talk about in your interviews. So yeah, if you're interested in leadership, you can send an email to, or DM us in Discord, Facebook, email us, any of the officers or execs that you're interested. Coming up after this event, if you're interested in leadership, and especially if you're interested in the official position, you can message us and start shadowing for the position that you are interested in. So there's a lot of behind scene work about all of these positions, and it's a lot more helpful for you to, like, basically, like, if you wanted to go for vice president of communication, you would be working, like, directly with me to learn about all the stuff I do and, like, the everyday. So that way, when you do run for the position, you're fully prepared and know what's expected of you. March 16th, we're going to have our town hall event for leadership, which is basically where, if you're interested in a leadership position, you present yourself to the rest of the club to assert that you are running for this position, you are interested in this position, and that in April, we vote on exec positions, and then execs will appoint their officer positions. So yeah, make sure you save that date if you are interested, and we hope you join the leadership team.
Thank you.